1969, everything here was going to be burnt down, you know.
Okay.
What happened
Troubles.
in 1968? Well, we had a revolution in 1916 and a war of independence.
So you're now in the Shankill, this is the Shankill.
I've been here yesterday, yeah.
Okay. We had a rise in 1916 and a war of independence in 1918, as a result of which 26 counties of Ireland became politically independent. Okay, and the state of Northern Ireland was created in 1922.
Artificially, with an artificial majority.
Okay, in order to ensure that there would be a majority here in the north of Ireland that would be loyal to Britain, there was a policy of discrimination against the Catholic minority. There was a minority of Catholics within the Northern Ireland state, and in order to keep them a minority, there was a policy of discrimination.
Going to your left here, Fergus.
Which meant that...
There's a lovely mural there. Protestant Valley. This is the main Shankill Road here. As you see with the flags.
Yeah.
So there was a policy of discrimination instituted against the Catholic minority so that they wouldn't have jobs and they wouldn't have houses, and therefore a lot of them would have to immigrate. And there was an importance in the housing that they were refused houses, because in order to vote in local government elections here, you had to be a property owner, you had to have a house. So if Catholics didn't have houses, they didn't have votes. So by discrimination and what we called gerrymandering, that's making sure people didn't have votes, the Catholic population were kept disempowered, and there was a majority here in favour of British rule. That's how it was preserved. In 1968, a group of people came together to try and change those rules, to try and end discrimination and gerrymandering, and they started a civil rights campaign, based very much on the civil rights campaign in America. So they were demanding, the demands at the time were one person, one vote, or in the sexist terminology at the time, one man, one vote, one man, one house, and one man, one job.
One woman.
So it was, the demands were for
That's right.
the demands were for votes, for jobs, and for houses.
Yeah.
So there was a campaign of peaceful demonstrations organised throughout the north of Ireland. That campaign was met with brutal resistance and force from the state, from the local state, and from the police force that existed here. People were beaten off the streets and put in jail. They continued to protest.
Right, this is the oldest part of the Shankill. This is where the Shankill developed from. This old churchyard is where the Shankill originally existed, where it was originally, and everything then sprung up around this churchyard. So, and this is one of the oldest churches in the Shankill here. It's actually based on a round tower, an Irish round tower. You see, it's sort of, and if you look at it from above, it's actually in a shamrock shape, the shape of a shamrock.
And it was the age also when the troubles in Derry started in '69.
Yes. That's when what happened was that the police began to attack the demonstrations, the civil rights demonstrations. And then in August '69, they started to attack Catholic areas, particularly in Derry, in the Bogside and Derry. And then what happened was, whenever the police started to attack people's houses and people's areas, the idea of a peaceful demonstration or of a peaceful campaign began to be eroded, because people said, well, we have to defend ourselves. So that's when a militarization started on the non-state side. The state militarized the situation by using force and by using guns against peaceful demonstrators. Then those who supported the peaceful demonstrators said, well, we need to start defending ourselves, and that's when the situation overall became militarized, and where people went out and got guns, put up barricades, and declared no-go areas, places where the police could not come in. That happened right up through '69. In August '69, the situation became so bad locally that the British Army were brought in to support the police. Now, the British always say they came to keep two warring sides together, but to keep the two sides who were fighting together. They tried to describe the situation as sectarian warfare between Catholic and Protestants. In actual fact, what was happening was that the Catholic or nationalist community were fighting for their rights, and they were being opposed by the state and by those who opposed the state. And because of historical divisions and the way history had, the way the British basically had organised history or had intervened in historically here, that meant that the Catholic population were generally in favour of United Ireland. Okay.
So this is our down. Oliver, this is a different part. This is the Catholic area. This is where the Rahmen was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
You know, the Orange Parade comes down here. This is essentially a Catholic area here. So the Orange Parade comes down here. It then goes down to Shankill. They actually get into buses and drive down. They like to walk this part and then they get the buses when they get out of this part. But,
so this is Catholic again?
You want to go down
over there.
Fergus, up that way?
In Dorlaje?
Yeah, in Dorlaje. You can't go in that side, you have to go up at the traffic lights and turn down. This is our down, this is Catholic area in North Belfast.
Okay.
In here?
Yeah, this is where I always saw a lot of trouble. If you were a Catholic living in North Belfast during the Troubles, it was very difficult because to get in and out of this area you had to come through essentially through a Protestant area.
Okay.
So very vulnerable, so in your right. So this is our down, this is basically the area in Belfast would see most problems about parades now. So you're going on ahead, up that way. Up like them right there.
Well, let's go in there down.
Yeah, what we're going to do that, yeah. Just up where that car is there now. Straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
So remember there was a controversy about 10 years ago about school children being stopped going to school. I don't know if you remember that, the Holy Cross. There was a tax on school children who were going to school up here. The school was in a Protestant area but the children were Catholic.
Okay.
So there was a big protest and lots of trouble around it, but that was in here. Now you're going to your right here, Fergus Eoghan. Yeah. So you see this Protestant area here and the Catholic area here. And essentially the flags tell you where you are, you know.
And
so this is our down.
People
you'll see here at the back of these houses, you see there's another peace line. If you look through the back, through the steps of the houses, you see.
Okay, yeah.
And there used to be quite a lot of trouble at that peace line.
People describe the situation here in terms of Catholic and Protestant, but it's important to remember that it is not a religious war.
Yeah.
It's a war that whereby the Catholics see There's a war. This is a very historic place. But to finish that point, the war is between those who support a united Ireland and those who support maintaining with Britain, and for historical reasons that tends to break down on Catholic Protestant lines, but there's no fight over religion. This is a very important place here, historically. This is where I was born.
Ah.
Oh no! Right, come on, let's have a look.
The house is gone. I think the house is gone.
I haven't got the plaque up yet, no?
I do.
The first one?
What number is that? Oh, that's still there. I thought the house had been removed. I thought they knocked it down.
112. It's even got Irish on the side.
There we are now. So that's very significant.
Yeah.
You can see this. They're just taking the flags down. There's usually a lot of flags down and bands playing outside it every day.
They could have done it.
I actually thought that house had been removed. I'm
surprised. Go down and then come round down.
Okay.
So go with your eye.
We told them to have it ready for this part of the tour, but they didn't have it.
No, these are now ones you can depend on them for do nothing.
Can't get to work.
I remember in September. Pre-MG, PSNI. What's MG? Marion Price? No, what's MG? Oh, Martin. What's his name?
Martin.
MG. What's that other? Is this a crossing on here? This is rather religious. I think just to say it. Having explained how they
The religious aspect of it.
Yes.
It's a crossway.
Yes, it seems to be. Alright,
Obviously, Technicas are clay.
Okay.
Don't know if you can Féin, okay? This is the Sinn Féin office here. It used to be attacked quite regularly, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now this. Yeah, the rich were factory.
He's in bun. Kieran, what's us a Magalore show like?
You're getting your eyes open. See, you country people. You'll have to take us around down by where you come from.
Honestly.
You'll have to take us on a trip of Randallstown someday to see what you've got to offer there now, you know. Definitely.
What happened to the Ardoy flat this year? Was there an Ardoy
Yes, having a hell of a tractor and then
No.
they should account for 5 Irish, you know. So here's a couple of wall murals here, but they've overdone the maybe the old one of Era and whatever, you know. Yeah, there's the flat. No, they had some nicer ones. There's a GAA one. This is the Gaelic Sports you were at yesterday.
Hurling.
The Kickins. The Kickins is a local club here.
Okay.
La?
Kieran.
La?
Where?
La and you shop at Helen. Oh, and La and you. The name of the shop and La and you today. So you're going to, what's this one?
Okay.
Left? Yeah.
Kieran's a good hurler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's quite a few murals here you can see.
See here on this side.
The Gorta, the Shamra, the Masra, Fergus Eoghan. Star and the Giriga.
There are a lot of...
Wow, Chapdolay, Podolay,
There are a lot of murals here.
There are a lot in our down. There's some good murals here, you know. There's the
Edge school.
education, edge school.
So this is North Belfast. We're in North Belfast at the moment.
If I'm going to make it interesting, go down if you don't mind.
Okay, we may go just in Crocanui.
Come you go like 4 Suez 4 enter my head again with the Shimbagalore.
Okay.
The end sheets are yes. The morning route. So this road's Old Park Road. Old Park is just the side of our down. The bar you'll see, you'll come by a bar down in the left hand side. I'm not good with the sides, left or right, I don't know. Left hand side, down the left hand side there's a bar. We usually call it the Suicide Inn. Because if you drank there's a Protestant area there and they used to attack it regularly and just drive
okay.
So that's the bar there, the Suicide Inn. It used to be called.
Where is it?
Yes, there.
This used to be my constituency.
Yeah. And then you're going to your left here, Fergus, left.
Here?
Now just stop here a second. There used to be Ladbrokes, 3 were Ladbrokes is there? There was 3 people killed in there. They threw a grenade.
Am I driving to the left
You're
here?
going to your left, yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead. So that's, you know, it's quite it's an exposed area. Basically the area is just on the edge of Catholic, Protestants, nationalist, loyalist areas, so they're easy to attack. So you could attack them. In the case of the loyalists, you could attack that.
So, but are there some riots right now?
Well, no, this place is quiet. The war's over.
Okay.
The war's over, you know, I mean,
there was a bit of a riot whenever on the 12th of July up at those shops in Ardoy, because of the Orange Parade was coming down. The reason people object to Orange Marches is that the Orange Order is a sectarian anti-Catholic organisation which was set up to basically to defeat or to work against those who were trying to get Irish independence or Irish freedom, and to so people object to that organisation marching through the area. There's often comparisons made to it and the Ku Klux Klan because it's a sectarian anti-Catholic organisation. You cannot be a Catholic and be a member of that organisation.
Okay.
At one point in the Northern Ireland state, every member of the cabinet, every member of the government was a member of the Orange Order. You could almost equate that to every member of the American government being a member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay.
In terms. Now that may, nothing is ever exactly the same, but it gives you some idea of what that meant and how the state which was set up here was run. It was run on an anti-Catholic basis. One of the former prime ministers, called Lord Brooksborough, famously said that when he was talking about employing people, that he wouldn't have a Catholic about the place. So it was the north of Ireland, or Northern Ireland, was a virulently anti-Catholic sectarian state.
Another clash, yeah.
And that's why the civil rights movement started in 1968. And then I was explaining how, because the state brought violence against the peaceful demonstrations, the people who were fighting for civil rights and that section of the population basically decided to defend themselves, and that's how then the IRA got involved, and that led into a major confrontation, a military confrontation, and coupled with mass demonstrations for over 30 years, which is what most people internationally would have heard about, which the British call terrorism, which people here, a lot of people here would look on as part of a struggle for Irish freedom. That's not to say that a lot of terrible things happened on all sides, but that's what happens in wars, I suppose. So, and that's where we are now. So it was a part of that situation whenever large numbers of young people in these areas all ended up in prison. Before the Troubles started, before 1968, 1969, Northern Ireland had one of the lowest prison populations in Europe. And then during the Troubles, they had the largest prison population in Europe.
Okay.
Practically every person, every house in this area would have someone connected with them, either friends or relatives, who would have been in prison. I mean, Owen would know a lot of people who'd been to prison. I know a lot of people who'd been in prison. And it was because they were involved in the political struggle here that they ended up and put into prison by the state. And that was the reason why the prisoners were demanding that they be recognised as political prisoners. And that's what led to the hunger strike. And the hunger strike led to a major resurgence in the Sinn Féin party, which up to that point hadn't been terribly strong, particularly in the early 70s and early 80s, or particularly in the early 70s. And now they're the major, as a result of that period and work that has been done since, they are now the major anti-unionist party in the north here, and they're growing quite considerably in the south as well. And then there's the Irish language aspect of it all. Owen, you can talk about that. Before we do, just there's a mountain up here. We're not going to go too much further up here.
You can go right up to the castle, sure.
Right up to the castle?
Probably.
So how is the percentage between the population?
Well, there's a census to come out there was a census taken in 2011, and the results haven't been out yet, but it should be probably around 40, 45 maybe, would it be that big?
Yeah.
It's 45, well it's 40, 60 roughly, the last time, but the Catholic population is possibly growing, so it'll be between 40 and 45% Catholic, and therefore between 60 and 55.
50 and 55.
50 and 55 Protestant. You see there, that mountain? That's supposed to be the face of Napoleon. It looks like the face of Napoleon, they say.
We're looking at it from the side. It doesn't actually look like somebody lying down at their
In the nose and so on. And on the uppermost part of it, that's where Wolfe Tone, who we saw down at the mural, the person on the top extreme left-hand side, that's where they founded the United Irishmen, the organisation which became the first Republican organisation in Ireland to fight for a republic, was founded up on that mountain. So there you are. You cannot see now.
Roots out. What's roots out? R-O-T-S, roots out. What the roots ever do to you?
Roots out.
Must be for
Roots.
somebody in terms of hair or something, you know? Roots out.
Haven't been down the roots.